What is up, everyone? JD here. I hope you're all doing well today. Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. Normally I'm doing knife reviews, multi-tools, mods, long-term reviews, things of that nature. What I'm actually going to be talking about today is I've actually always been curious about the Garage Gear Mighty Pouch. So I can never react quickly enough to the Instagram alert to react to pick one up from the website. And he does list on Facebook. I'm not really on Facebook. I'm not going to get into that, but I'm not on Facebook. So I found this one on the secondary market. They normally go for, I think, $50. He asked for 75 because he also had this lanyard barrel. It's not a lanyard barrel. It's decorative, whatever it is, but it's made out of some type of 3D printed material. Might help if I bring it a little bit closer, huh? And then he had two patches that I did, or Ranger eyes, I think is what they're called, that I really wasn't feeling. So I've kind of just been looking around slowly, picking up ones that I kind of like, because I think it's fun to kind of personalize it. And it's relatively small enough, and you have like a front pocket here. And then if you have some cash that you want to stow that you don't want to lose, you can put that in here. It is kind of interesting, but a little bit more bulky than I thought it was going to be. But I honestly do not think that you can go any smaller when you take into consideration what I have stowed in here. So I thought it'd be cool I tried to match it up the best that I could, but it doesn't really match the green, I guess, but I don't care. I like the blue. So I have like a little multi-tool in here, my little Leatherman squirt. I mostly use the pliers on this and the scissors sometimes, but it's a little small. Very rarely do I use the blade on that. The little fidget toy, I actually will go in here quite often and pull this out. And this is just a little haptic slide ace of spades that I picked up for 20 bucks on Etsy. I don't even remember who the retailer was, but it's pretty cool and it's held up pretty well, especially considering how much I've fidgeted with it. But that also is like a little 3D printed thing. And then back here, let me make sure I don't have any address information or anything like that. Yeah, so like I'll take little notes when I was at the beach and things like that. So this is kind of handy as well because I actually forgot to grab a notebook. And that's also handy when I'm out and about if I think about something, which is also why in this particular one I have the Fisher Space Pen, which is nice because when you take the end and put it on, it's like a full-size pen that actually is comfortable for me to hold and to use. It does still have their pressurized cartridge, which is how you get it to write in rain and upside down and all that cool stuff that they advertise. I also have my Dapper Design, because it was the smallest one that would fit in here, Ion, which I really do like this light. I haven't charged that thing in like 2 months and it's still holding a charge, so I'm very happy with that. Obviously, if you don't know what this is, it is the Protect Rump 5. Fits in here great with the lanyard on there. It gives something for my pinky to grab, which is nice, as opposed to like just feeling like I'm out here whiffing. But the reality is I'm opening packages with this. I might cut some string. I actually have cut packages. Sorry, I've actually cut zip ties to get into packages, or something that was zip tied to a package instead of trying to rip the box apart. So I have used it for some stuff, but I definitely am not breaking down boxes or anything like that. So this is actually perfect for this. One thing that I want to comment about, I do love the fact, I thought this was like a pocket, but I think it's actually there to kind of protect the pocket clip from hitting whatever you have on this side. In the back, I always just throw a little microfiber cloth, and I don't know if I've thrown any Band-Aids in here yet. I usually throw some Band-Aids in there as well. So that's kind of just taking you through everything that's in my Mighty Pouch. And like I said, I've enjoyed it, but I have found that like what I actually do is I end up carrying this because I don't have cargo shorts. I just have khaki shorts that have regular pockets. And I end up just grabbing this and carrying it in addition to throwing it in the car, or if I want to go somewhere where I don't want to necessarily have my pocket knife, I actually have grabbed this a couple times because I know that I have one in there. Very well built. The stitching on it seems really nice. The zipper on it works really nicely. It hardly ever, I've never had it hang up actually. I've never had it hang up. And then it seems like it's reinforced back here. The elastic, I think, kind of helps that from pulling apart too much, because it doesn't connect. Obviously it can't connect, but there's no connecting material outside of the elastic there, and where it stitched the front and back faces onto it. And then I feel like this here is to help also protect. I don't think it would be completely foolproof from water, like if it was submerged, but I think like rain and stuff, it might help keep it out, and then it keeps the zipper from catching on anything on the inside. Now, having said all that, talking about the size, I do love the fact that you can personalize and customize putting Ranger eyes on there as well. And again, I love the fact that it has like a little secure pocket rather, for your money. So having said that, I got to thinking, and I'm going to move this to the side for a moment while I bring this other pouch that I found on Amazon out here. So I went on Amazon. I can't even remember how I came across it, because I think it was recommended to me because I've done the Maxpedition packs for like my tools and stuff, which are actually bigger than this mighty pouch. So I could never carry that on my person, but it works really nicely situationally, like when I'm going somewhere. Or actually, I keep one Maxpedition in my backpack that has just a small bare bone necessities of some tools and things of that nature in case I need it, band-aids, etc., microfiber cloth. So I think that's why this was recommended. So this is the Gentle Stash, and the first thing that I'm going to point out, and I will bring this out here, is it actually is pocketable, meaning this actually, I've carried this in my pocket a few times, and it fits quite well in comparison, because when you look at the overall footprint, it's just a little bit smaller, just small enough. I don't like the name, and I already wish that it had the Velcro on here so that you could personalize it. I don't know how hard it would be to, because it is really integrated into the pouch, but I don't know how hard it would be to take this off, because you can feel the stitching on the back, and just go ahead and put, like, just make that whole thing Velcro. I don't really find that when I usually stuff the inside, I usually find that I don't put things in the pockets, and I really don't think I have anything on me that I can demonstrate that on. As far as the build quality on here, you can see just thinner overall, but you can see it has a very similar design. This could be a knockoff for all I know of how the Garage Gear Mighty Pouch is built. And it also has, it doesn't have as nice of a zipper. It kind of feels like it just doesn't operate as smoothly as the Garage Gear pouch. And it also has, instead of elastic, it has that canvas material here, and they attach like a little lanyard holder on it as well. And I will say, it looks like this could pop right out. So I don't really, this is not really matching the theme of this one. So I'll probably do my own little lanyard and bead later. Inside, you have a very similar layout. So you got two pockets, and you have a rear pocket here as well. And that's probably where I'll end up putting my band-aids. I was going to try to go red theme, but I've just had way too hard a time trying to find everything in red. So same thing here. I find that I typically use the pliers on here, and actually the scissors are pretty good on the dime, and I prefer the bottle opener on the dime as well. This is just for pulling out. It doesn't really benefit any other way. I wish I would have gotten the nugget in red. Think that would have been cool to match in there as well, but perfectly fits in there for a pocket. Now, I did already have this in one of my art company organizers, the MicroStream, and I think I actually like this flashlight a little bit better for this particular pouch because it's smaller and it goes deeper into the pocket instead of having a taller pocket. I don't know that I'm going to keep the Fisher Space Pen in here. I have not decided, because I can't, there's nothing that I have found as far as a notepad is concerned that's going to fit in here. Like the only thing that would fit in here is something like the size of a sticky pad. So that's all that's going to fit in here. But as you can see, I have a hole open. And since I'm debating the pen, I picked up something else too that I wanted to bring out here instead of doing just a separate video. So I picked up another Savvi. I had one of these in purple, and I decided to sell it because I just really had others that I was carrying that I liked more. But I went ahead and picked up another Baby Banter. Yes, I know it's not bright red. It's the closest I could get to red. I could have gone with the black, but, and I've already checked this, that pocket clip's still a little stiff. It fits perfect. And even though you do have the nugget there, it still keeps everything nice and thin. Now, the other thing that I'll say is they have these pockets here, and I've seen, and actually I do have in the pocket today, got my rock wall. I have seen where they showed pictures of people putting the knives in there, but in reality, it's got to be a relatively small knife, which is why I went ahead and picked up the Savvi Baby Banter. I keep wanting to say we, to throw in there because I think that fits perfect. Now, because I'm not sure about the pin and if I want to leave the pin in here, and I am kind of limited on what I can stick in here, and maybe I could put the pin back here on the corner. No, it just doesn't fit right. Just doesn't fit right. These pockets, I would have rather them to remove the stitching and just, I mean, if you're going to copy, just make it a full-on pocket back here. Or maybe there's just a reasonably sized knife that I'm not thinking of. But I'm thinking of, instead of having the pin in there, I saw on Stas's channel where he had actually reviewed this. And I had seen this before I saw it on Stas's channel, but I didn't pick it up because it didn't look like it was going to serve like I had thought. So here you can see it's the pocket driver stash tool. Now, I know it said tool, but in all the pictures, it wasn't really clear whether or not you could use this like a tool. So the stash, and I got to be really careful because it is full to the gill. So you just got to be really careful with this one because I think there's one that fits in the head here. And it has sizes that you really don't necessarily need, but it does come with Torx bits. It does have 6/8, and I believe it has the 10 in there as well, but it has even smaller than that. But I was like, oh, it's just a little, either you can use it as a key ring or you can put it in the pocket, I guess. But I didn't think it was a tool because I didn't see where they demonstrated where you can take that off and put the bits on the end and actually use this as a tool. What I would probably do if I can, I don't think it'll come off, I probably would just lose the key ring, or maybe, yeah, lose the key ring and put the lanyard on there because I don't think there's any way to remove it. But I'm thinking, and I didn't test fit this just came in. I'm thinking this might solve the problem, or maybe I just need to swap these around so that I have the clearance that I need and then the flashlight works. I think this is the setup I'm going to go with. And at least you get to see how my mind works and my thought process as I go through this. I don't think that I really need the pin. I think that this pouch in this setup really works. Now, I guess some could argue that I could keep the pin and lose the Baby Banter because technically if I was, you know, pulling out, is that it? No, that's the package opener, which means this side has the small blade. I mean, you could cut something with that, but I feel like, you know, it's not awful. But I just feel like having the banter in there dedicated for that, knowing that I usually use the pliers and the bottle opener on the dime more so than anything else, makes more sense in my mind. I really don't think that I need the pin, and I really don't think that there's anywhere else that it could go that would make a whole lot of sense. So there's my review of the stash. Not as customizable. It definitely is very reminiscent of the Mighty Pouch, but it is significantly smaller. The Mighty Pouch is $50. I think this Gentle Stash, I think it's $20 on Amazon. So made in the USA. I didn't look before this video, but I think it's a pretty safe and fair assumption to say this is made in China. I don't know how that influences you. And again, I love the fact that the Mighty Pouch can be customized. You can put, and I'm not quite sure if it's stitched. Yeah, it feels like it's definitely, yeah, it's definitely stitched in all the way around onto the covering. So, I mean, if you could get into this without having to do too much work, which you have a bunch of seams here as well, I'm thinking that the Gentle Stash would be hard to add that patch if you didn't know what you were doing. Anyway, let me know what you think down in the comments. I will have it linked here. I will send you to Garage Gear's website. You will need to set up notifications for alerts when stuff is going to hit, or you're going to have to follow him over on Instagram and have your notifications turned on, because he posts that he drops stuff when he drops stuff, and if you're not fast, you're not going to get one, and people are charging like $100 or more for the Mighty Pouch, so it doesn't really work. I will do a long-term review on this. I'm pretty confident I'm going to leave it set up like this. I only say that because typically I'm carrying a pin in the pocket, and this would be something I wish they would have done, like a zipper pouch, because I could have stuck some money in there. But what I may do is just leave these open and just ID, debit card, and cash here if I want to carry just this and nothing else with me. Of course, most places that you would want to do that, like if you're going to a sports event or something like that, you can't really carry this stuff. Hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, do me a favor, leave a like. Consider subscribing if you're not already subscribed. If you are subscribed, thank you for the continued support. I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope all of you have a fantastic week, and until next time, peace.